My name is Michelle Stylen, also known as Estro Jen, and you're watching the Roller Skating Podcast. And this episode is all about pride. Woo! It is June. It's the month of June. We celebrate pride and queerness and gayness. And I've got two friends here who are super proud to be themselves. Kiana, the turquoise Jitty, and from Queer Girl Straight Skates, Revel. Before we get into that though, what's been up? Let's catch up. What's new? It's June. It's 2020 fun. There's like no June gloom in sight. Tell me about your month. Yeah. I see Kiana a lot, but I do catch up with Rebel all the time, but let me know. Let the audience know what's going on. What's new?
I mean, June is Christmas for queers. I don't know if y'all know that, but all the companies in the world are out here being like, yo, we want a piece of you. And we're like, don't commodify us, but also give us money.
Yeah, you just like did a gig for Forever 21, right?
Yeah. So Forever 21 found me through you all, like through the Moxi Skates Forever 21 thing. That's then awesome. They found me and they were like, ooh, Queer Girl Straight Skates, we want to bring you in. So I got to do the queer, like the pride campaign. I was the fat one. I was their like plus size person. It was so fun. And it was really cool because they wanted me on skates for a little bit, but they didn't just want me on skates, which I feel like it's a weird thing that companies just want you for your skates. Totally. And sometimes, and it was cool to be wanted for skates, but also for me as a person, you know?
Like they interviewed you.
Yeah, like they interviewed me and they cared about my opinions, and yeah, it was just really cool. It was super fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
How about you, Kiana?
Yeah, what's new with me? Not too much. I've been doing some gigs, which is fun. Also, you know, I get those through like Shove and Rebel, which is awesome, and just Moxi in general, but TikTok is interesting. I feel like a lot of my gigs come through that as well, which has been like an interesting experience, and getting to see like the influencer side where people are literally making their money and this is how they do it, right? So I got a couple gigs that have been really fun, and I'm just in the works to try to make my YouTube better, I'm taking a break on social media so I can come back to it, which has been interesting too, because, you know, just lurking in the background is always fun. Seeing what's happening without like participating has just been like very interesting. But yeah, I've got a lot of stuff coming in the works, like interview for YouTube. I don't know how much I should talk about that, but I'm planning some trips, and I'm just really excited to be like actually working on things and like organizing rather than just being like, okay, I'm gonna do this thing day of. So yeah, that's been fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I have a couple things happening soon that are like low-key secrets, so you'll have to come back, have me on here again so I can talk about them. Yeah. But I booked a thing where I'll be skating a lot coming up very, very soon, and awesome. People will be able to see me skate. And so I'm really, really excited about that. So that's gonna be happening in a little less than a month. And yeah, me and Shove have our Skate Date podcast, which has been going on we're in the middle of our second season now. Mm-hmm. So that's really cool. And then just Queer Girl Straight Skates. And I also started a channel to talk about like how to do YouTube. So I started like a small business, like how to do the back end of YouTube and analytics and all of that kind of stuff. I started that channel, and that's called Rebel Lachelle. But yeah, so I've been really busy, but in all good things, like so exciting.
That's rad.
Yeah.
That's so cool. You reminded me, because you do lives every Sunday.
Yeah, I do.
Which is great.
Stateside chats.
Yeah, so I started trying to do skate maintenance hangs on Thursdays. I don't know how you do it because going live every week is really hard. I'm definitely like, my personality is late, so I'll be like, yeah, let's start this at 6. And I'll be like, it's 6. I have to eat. I have to do all this shit. Let's start it in 30 minutes. So props to you. You're very inspiring in that aspect.
Consistent.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, like I just like make a schedule for myself, and I'm like, I'm gonna follow the schedule. Like, and I tell myself that it's a job.
Yeah, like, you talk about that like it's so easy. Like you think that all of us aren't making schedules, right? All of them.
Yeah. I literally have a planner that says like, this week do this, and it's all planned out, and then I get there and I'm like, shit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh wait, can we curse on YouTube? Has it been 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are y'all doing any Pride events? Going to Pride? Any Pride interaction?
I was supposed to go to Pride this weekend in New York, and then it got like weirdly canceled because of COVID and stuff, which I'm sad about because it was like the one in-person Pride thing that I was going to get to go to, because there have been virtual Prides that I've like watched online, but it's honestly not the same. And I know that we're like being safe, and I think that that's important, but it's just like, I want to go back to Pride.
Yeah. I don't think I'm doing anything. I'm helping out with a crew in San Diego called Sunset Rollers, and they might be doing something with Derby United for Pride coming up, but I'm not sure how much I will be involved in that, only because of some personal stuff going on this next couple of weeks and some awesome projects that are happening soon. So, but if I can make it, then I'll probably be skating in like a Pride, what are those things called?
A parade.
Parade.
Yeah.
Yeah, these past 2 years have been pretty difficult on the event.
Yeah.
Pride parade.
Last year, I was like, oh, it's so sad we can't have Pride. I'm going to turn my channel into like a Pride event.
Yeah.
So like all month long, every single video I put out, I like got decked out in the most rainbows, and it was like so extra. We blew up a rainbow blow up thing in our backyard.
That was
like
cute.
It was so crazy, but it was honestly too much. I went overboard so hard, and I feel like I burnt myself out on rainbows.
Yeah, do you get burned by the rainbow?
I get so burnt by the rainbow. Yeah, honestly, like I love that we have like this symbol of representation, and I love that the rainbow and the rainbow flag is like expanding in inclusion, but I also feel like, I don't know, like for example, I have this one thing that I'm working on, and when I put myself out there and they were like, oh, we're going to create a design for you, like the first thing that they do is just create rainbows, and they just put rainbows on everything, and I'm like, I love rainbows and I think that that's awesome, but that's not my entire personality, and that's not everything that being queer or being gay or being in the LGBTQIA plus community is about. Like, you can't just sum us up and be like, the rainbow defines you. And that honestly bothers me. Like, I just feel like, yeah, we can have the rainbow, but we can also be like people.
Yeah.
And I feel like oftentimes we get boiled down to that. I don't know if you have that experience or not.
No, I agree, especially because the like Pride flag is ever evolving, right? Like it's got the other colors for like trans folks, black people, like all of those folks, and I don't know how to explain it. Maybe Bobby can like ping up a little, the
flag intersex symbol.
Yeah, the intersex symbol. So it's like really frustrating that all these companies are like getting on board with the rainbow, but at the same time, like the Pride flag doesn't just encompass like the rainbow colors anymore. So, and being like a non-binary person, I have my own flag. I feel like it'll have like they them pronouns, or it'll have like something else, but it'll still be in rainbow, and I'm like, that's great, but those aren't really the colors that I identify with. And if I do, it's just because I like rainbow. I don't like it associating necessarily with like being non-binary and being like using they them pronouns. So I think that like companies are they're always just behind.
Yeah, the gap between like what's really going on in the streets and what's how we really are acting and presenting, and like the manufacturers, that gap is so large, and it really feels like uncomfortable when you're being marketed to, but in the same sense there's a double-edged sword, because you're like, wow, this really didn't exist when I was a child. And like the fact that people are being marketed to express themselves however they truly identify and feel is like, it's an amazing change.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll get sick of the rainbow, but we'll all be able to express ourselves more comfortably.
And we can find each other easier. I definitely think it's a unifying symbol that's really awesome. Like, I'm so grateful for it, because I feel like I can find safe spaces easier. So even though I don't want to just be like rebel and then like a flag, but I do, I'm so grateful for it. Have you seen that meme that's like what companies are like selling to the gays, and then what the gays like all my like, gays, and it's like rainbows and stuff, and then it's just like goth anarchists. I love that meme. So good.
I also think that like, so I've been seeing a lot of TikToks of like people being like, let me show you the Spencer's or the Target or the this like Pride collection, and it's like the horrifying music, like horror music in the background. I also just think it's like you could just hire like queer folks to make their own art, and that would be prideful too, but instead they're like, here's, you know, a rainbow flag on a white t-shirt, or like here's like rainbow overalls, which like cool, but also like you could sell those any other time of the month and not just on Pride too. But you know, hopefully, you know, that's why you just gotta support small businesses for sure, because I feel like a lot of those smaller companies know what we want, especially because they're people of color and they're queer, and they're like, yeah, you know, fuck Target for making all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry for cussing so much. I feel like we're not on a podcast, so you know.
But good, that's great. That's awesome.
I definitely agree with you. Like, I think that a really important part about Pride Month is like that focus on queer-owned businesses or POC businesses. Like, I really think like putting your money towards that is really, really important in June. But then also realizing that it's not just like a June effort. It's like it's like a Kickstarter to kind of change your lifestyle. Like the way during Black Lives Matter, a lot of people who hadn't focused on purchasing from Black-owned businesses were like, oh, I should purchase from Black-owned businesses. Then they're like, oh, wait, I can continually get things from Black-owned businesses. I feel like that's kind of what Pride should be when it comes to queer-owned business. You know, like, I know that there was an issue with people buying a bunch of stuff, again, during the, like, hype moment of Black Lives Matter, and then stopping immediately after. And so there were all these businesses who created stuff for the demand, and then they had invested in all of this stuff, and then they weren't selling it. And I think that that is something we want to avoid anytime that we're shifting our funds from corporate, like, big business to smaller business, and like that's definitely something we have to think about, is like long-term sustainability. But that's like a whole conversation, so like have another podcast about that.
No, it's this conversation. Like, I think roller skating is a really amazing place to find. It's a really safe space for gays, for queer people, for people that don't identify with what society's trying to, you know, uphold, and looking for small businesses and small creators. Like, roller skaters have lots, like, they've got channels like you do, they've got Patreons, they have Etsy accounts, they're creating art. Like, looking for those pockets to invest your dollars is important.
I think that while it can be safe for some people, I feel like there's still a lot of work happening. Because when you say it's a safe space, I'm like, yeah, I feel safe. But then I always see, like, in Derby specifically, more or less, that like people are still getting misgendered, or that there's like, you know, racist refs and like all this stuff happening, that there's still, you know, they're a little behind, like the corporations, they need to, you know, get on it. And it sucks because when I was in roller derby, like first starting, that was a safe space for me, and I identified as a woman, and I went into the sport thinking that I would have like support from women, and like I would get great friends from it, and I did. A lot of them were older than me though, so I didn't make a lot of friends, but it was a safe space. And then like the more I grew up and like actually started recognizing things and not being like so innocent, I realized that it actually wasn't the safest space, because people were bullies, people like didn't actually care about your pronouns, and that like especially with like someone transitioning, like, and I don't know how it is with derby right now, but like them being like, you still have to be on the women's team even if you're like non-binary, or if you're transitioning, it's like you could just have like a non-gendered team, and just like the movement of that in derby is a little slow, and I feel like there could be a lot of work in it. But the reason why I went into the skate park to skate was because it was free. I was able to be myself, and then I was able to find people I loved that, you know, surrounded me with support. So I'm glad that there's that outlet, or there's like trail skating or all these other things, you know, beach cruising. But it does suck when like that was the first thing you came into, and that might be the first thing other people get introduced to before like the pandemic, right? Or like the rink and stuff. But yeah, I don't know if that
Yeah, no, that makes sense. No, when I first started roller skating, the reason why I started roller skating, I always tell people that the reason why I started roller skating is because like I had finished speech and debate and I was like bored, and when my friends was like, hey, you should join roller derby, and I was just like, sure, you know, and just like bought skates and joined roller derby. Yeah. But one of the main reasons behind all of that, and the reason why I like fully decided to join, was because I knew it was like a queer inclusive space. And I had come from like a space that I didn't have anyone queer around me. Like I didn't have any role models. Like the only real like queer person I had like in my life even at all was a professor that I had that I was like, you're definitely a lesbian, but like never said anything about it. And so for me, I was literally looking for a space to feel accepted and to be able to blossom into who I was as a queer person. And that was one of the main reasons why I joined roller derby, you know? And then I do think that what you say is true. Like I got there and yes, I did feel more like a lot more accepted than I had ever felt in my entire life. Like miles beyond what I had previously been experiencing. But also I realized like, oh, there's actually like not that many queer people in Derby. Like I was shocked. Like I was like, there was one point where I was on like a home team and I was like, I am the only queer on this team. How is this possible? Like, how am I the only queer? Like, that's so wild. What? And that's not anyone's fault. Like, it's fine. Like, straight people can be in Derby, like, whatever. No, but it just like, but it was just like it was so unexpected for me. So while I was growing and like becoming myself more and more, I felt like, well, I'm still in Derby, even though, like, obviously the pandemic, so I haven't been in Derby for, like, a year and a half, so it's weird. It's weird talking about Derby because I haven't been in it for so long, so I feel like I can't even speak about Derby because I just haven't been in it since March or even, like, February. It's just, like, lurking in the background. But I honestly am, like, kind of grateful for that break in Derby because I think that it allowed me to dive into the skate community beyond Derby, where I feel so much so that I've created a space for myself where I actually do feel like I fit in and just like all of that. But definitely there's a lot of stuff that you were talking about. Like there's still a lot of racism in Derby. There's still a lot of exclusion. There's still a lot of issues with people with like WIFTA not knowing how to deal with like trans people or non-binary people. And it's like, no, like we need to be setting the example. Like we need to be like making sure that we are actually the inclusive community that we act like we are or that we say that we are. And so there's definitely a lot of work to be done. And I think that honestly, sorry, I know I'm talking a lot, but like I think that there's so much work to be done in general. Like I know I have work to do in my life, and like the skate park community, every community, like we all have work to do. Like everyone who has a business, like we all have work to do. And so it's just about like finding ways that every day we can become a little bit more inclusive or more forward thinking and stuff like that.
Totally. I do think that like when we look deeper into like WIFTA or like higher ups and stuff like that, hiring people that represent the things that we want to change for those folks, like making it more inclusive, is just like what we should be doing. Like I feel like, you know, when I was in Derby, there was literally like a white cis woman, straight woman who was just like, I feel like this is what you want, and it's like, but it's not, and I'm literally telling you what we want, and like you could just hire me and I could like help you, but like, you know, like, and it sucks too because we don't want to just do everything for you, but like if you're not going to listen to us, then might as well just hire us, and we're happy to like be there to do more, you know. But it's just ridiculous how like it really is like, this is what you want, right? After hearing like what we want, and it's like, no, I don't get it. But I haven't been in Derby for over, I did it for about 2 years, so over like 3 going on 4 years. So I don't really know what it's like now, but like over the pandemic and seeing like just the community that's grown, I've wanted to get back into it, maybe when like, you know, Derby comes back, only because so many new people are coming that it could be the change that I was looking for when I left.
Very true.
Yeah, there are so many people that were probably attracted to roller skating because of the inclusivity.
Yeah.
We do have a lot of work, but what kinds of things do you think that like everybody in the community that maybe has no exposure to roller derby or like some group or gathering, like what do you think we should expect to like, how can we encourage inclusivity and pride in roller skating?
Yeah, I mean, I'm hosting a Cheers to the Queers rollout on August 14th.
August 14th!
This is the first announcement. I can't believe it. This is the first announcement. August 14th is when I will be hosting the Cheers to the Queers rollout.
Boom! August 14th!
Yes. August
What's that
14th.
mean?
So the Cheers to the Queers rollout is so fun. I did it for the first time 2 years ago. Oh my goch, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Was it 3 years ago?
2 years ago.
2 years ago. Pandemic is weird. I don't even know what's going on. What year is it? I don't know. Whatever year you're watching now. So Cheers to the Queers is a rollout for queer inclusion and queer allies, and it's meant to be just a safe space. Like, it's meant to be a space where roller skaters, anyone on wheels, can get together and roll out from Junipero Hill to the Lighthouse and back, and just to find community. Because I specifically started it, so at the end of every episode on Queer Girl Straight Skates, I say Cheers to the Queers, and then like Cheers to the Queers became the name of my shop, like cheerstothequeers.com. So it really has just taken over my life, and I didn't mean for that to happen. Like, it literally, like Cheers to the Queers. And honestly, it came from one of my friends who I did derby with, and she was always like, Cheers to the Queers, and I was like, I'm taking that. Now it's my thing.
They don't sue.
No, they're my friends. I've talked to them about it. But yeah, so it's just like a rollout, and it's super fun, and it's so gay, and you get to dress in rainbows. And even though I said earlier that like I'm burnt out on rainbows, I'm like not, you know what I mean? So like everyone dressed in rainbows or whatever they want to wear, and it's just like so extra and so fun and so amazing, and you should be there. So
I'll be there.
Request the day off now. I'll try and get sponsors or something to give away some stuff. And
I'll have to look at my calendar. I think I can make it, but I was telling Esther that I might be in Romania.
Oh, so, dang. What for?
A wedding.
Wow. You're getting married?
Not my wedding, no. Maybe one day, but
amazing.
Looking at you, Kyle. But I really want to go. When you started talking about that, I remembered the pictures that I took, and like I was telling you earlier how like small I looked next to Shove. Right, that is the picture I literally pictured in my mind, because I think that's the first time I really like hung out or met both of you. So it brings back good memories.
And it was fun because we had the same button-up shirt. Like, you were wearing the shirt and I had it at home. But I was like, we have the same shirt. It was from the Target Pride collection from 2019.
So we still buy it, I guess.
Even though we're like, stop making it, don't do it. I definitely have like quite a few things. Yeah, I've been trying not to anymore though, but you know, it's fine. Oh.
Yeah, I'm trying not to buy things too. My closet needs to be, we need to do like a big clothing swap. Queer rollout.
Oh, that would be amazing. That would be cool, I want to have, so in my dreams in the future, I want to host like multiple queer events throughout the year. This is like, just manifest this with me.
Like a Pride Fest extension, like a backpack to Pride for roller skaters.
Yeah, like I want I want to move the Cheers to the Queers rollout to June. So I want to move that this next year. But I just didn't, like, COVID was unsure, and I was like, I can't do it this year. But I want to move it to then, and then I want to have a few queer events. I have a couple up my sleeve that I have literally been planning for multiple years. I've talked to you about it before. Then I'm not going to tell you about it because I don't want anyone to steal my idea. But yeah, so I have a few queer events up my sleeves, and my goal is to also just like go to different prides. Like I want to find the roller skaters at different prides and like go there. So that's like a future rebel dream plans.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I had something and I forgot what it was. So.
Oh.
My favorite thing, like interacting or gathering with roller skaters, like of course, is skating and like sharing music and moves. But they did this thing in Australia, which I thought was really awesome. That it was they called it a yarn circle, But everyone got together into a big circle, and they would put a topic in the middle of the circle, and then they would pass it. They would pass this topic around, and everyone would have a chance to talk about what the topic meant and how it affected them in roller skating. And it was just really a beautiful thing that they do over there down under.
Did they like
do it?
something?
Yeah, I was gonna say, did they turn it into something? Like, did they turn the yarn thing?
Oh no, there's no yarn. They just call it yarn.
It's not, I was imagining like actual yarn. Being
Yeah, like someone holds their piece
like,
and then you throw it, and then that person holds the
and
piece,
then you have like a little thing made in the middle at the end.
Those are really creative.
It would probably be a big knot.
Honestly.
Without like actual organization, that could be a mess. But
I think the term came from because I asked, I guess people would get together and they would crochet or knit, and they would be with their yarn and they'd be talking about.
Cute. And that circle,
that. I just realized that we never fully introduce ourselves with our pronouns. Hi
That's
everyone.
important.
My name's Rebel and my pronouns are she, her.
Hi everyone, my name's Kiana and my pronouns are they, them.
Hi everyone, my name is Estro Jen and my pronouns are also they, them.
Okay, back to our regularly scheduled programming.
You can just cut that and put it to the
Or
front.
just leave it there. It's fine.
Yeah, what's happening in San Diego? I think the only thing really is like the Pride Parade that I was talking about earlier with Derby United. That normally happens in July, which is really interesting. Like Pride is in June and we celebrate it like July 13th or 12th. I don't really know why that is, but other than that, I think I'm just gonna keep doing what I've always been doing, because Pride is like every day for me too, you know? I don't think I have plans to make an event really, just because I'm still a little nervous with like COVID and stuff, but I don't know.
That reminds me of something that I meant to say earlier. I totally forgot. But I think it's really important that if you are a person who gets approached by a business of any kind, and you are a queer person, or you're like a person of color, and they're approaching you, and it's like pretty clear that they're doing it for diversity or for like the month to appear included or whatever like that, I advocate for you to say, this is great, but like people are gonna see right through this, and if you really want representation, then you should hire me not just for this or not just for right now, but for the future as well. So can we talk about what a partnership moving forward is going to look like? I've been advocating to all of my queer friends and all of my friends who are clearly like, I don't know, just companies clearly have a quota sometimes, and I've been advocating for everyone to do that. So I feel like now is a good spot. Like, hey, advocate for yourself and be like, yo, like we know that if we only see queer people in June, like we know what you're doing. Like don't be, like we're smarter than we look.
That makes sense. And that actually brought up, I feel like the only other thing that I'm doing, which you're also doing, is just a campaign for a company where we get to try out a product, and it's also flowing into like Pride Month too. But I was actually really surprised, because while I was looking up like, you know, their Instagram and like just getting ideas for the content that I should make, a lot of the people that they already have on there are queer. And I don't know if that's just for June, but like I went pretty far back, and like they had a lot of like queer folks that I was super like stoked about. And I just think, you know, that's awesome, because doing the research beforehand too, I didn't quite do. But you know,
I feel like we could say that one, because that one goes live in like 3 days.
Okay.
Yeah, so we got mattresses.
Here's a free promotion, Big Fig.
Yeah, so we got mattresses from Big Fig, and they're for fat people. They're for like plus size individuals, and they really wanted like queer people who are fat or just like in a different body to try out their mattresses, curvy, whatever. Because sometimes like when I'm laying down, I know it's like my butt or anything like gets in the way of being comfortable. So they sent us mattresses. Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I jumped around on skates on mine.
You did? Oh my gosh! That's
It's
awesome.
a really good mattress,
It
actually.
is.
Yeah.
So the funny thing is, I've only ever had mattresses that have been used for like a few years, and I've always had to put a topper on them. This is the first mattress I've ever been on in my entire life that I never had to put a topper on. Like, I literally passed out and had the best night's sleep that I'd had in a while. And I'm not just saying that, okay,
Yeah,
Big
we're
Fig. I'm
literally
serious.
yeah,
Like,
we're not trying to advertise right now. Like, it's literally just like I've finally gotten a good night's sleep for like in a long time, because because Shove is always like rolling around and then I'm rolling around and then I was just like, ah! And I feel like those mattresses that like, you know those commercials where you could like set a glass of wine and then you could jump on one side? Mm-hmm. I know that's not what's going on, but it feels like that same type of vibe. Yeah. Like I feel like that's the vibe that it has.
Absolutely. You can't feel Shove thrashing.
Yeah, and I think Shove can't feel me thrashing, and I'm always thrashing, and then Bowie's like just like a rock in the middle of the mattress. Yeah, it's very cute. But,
I also have back pain, and especially for being like a skater, like knee pain, back pain, just all of that too. Like coming home from skating, all I want to do is like now relax and lay down, and I didn't have like any adjustment period or back pain after being on the mattress for like a week or so. So I'm really stoked. Yeah.
You know what we should talk about? I know this is like typical, but we should talk about what Pride, like why this month is important for us.
Yeah.
I'll start.
I was looking at Estro.
Well, I felt like I sprang it on y'all, so
sure.
Unless you have an immediate answer.
No.
Like I was like, oh, I need to answer first because to give them time. Okay.
Yeah.
So
give us time.
You could see my gears turning.
I know. I was like, I don't know why that's what it sounds like. And yeah, that's okay.
Okay, I know.
Oh, you know?
Yeah, June is such an awesome month. And because, well, I really love being in Long Beach because it's such a proud city. Like, it's one of the largest Pride festivals. So many gays are here. Everyone is so comfortable being gay. We love gays. We're just really proud. Yeah. Like, whether you're gay or straight, you wave a flag in the city. Everyone's very proud of being proud. And it wasn't always that way. Like, I'm not really expressive about my queerness. I don't make it like a center of attention when it comes to roller skating for me. But like, for the larger portion of my life, I was really uncomfortable with how, with my sexuality and like talking about it. I didn't have a lot of gay friends, and not until I moved to Long Beach and was immersed in roller skating did I really feel like I had my people and that I could express myself sexually and expressively and express it through my company and those that I surround myself. And I don't know, I'm not like, and I don't think I'm an advocate for really anything outside of roller skating, or maybe like staying, I don't know, childlike, but I love having you guys as friends because I just feel like that is your advocacy when it comes to like how you identify in your gender and Queer Girl Straight Skates. And like I learned so much from being around you, and I always just feel so comfortable and more in love with myself when I am around people that are so in love with themselves and encourage themselves to feel good in your bodies and good about who you are and how you identify and who's around you. And like roller skating just always feels so good because of people like you that are like, want to tell everyone like just feel the way that you are and feel proud of that. And yeah, that's why June is an awesome month for me.
Thank you. I feel the same. I feel like when Pride Month comes around, it's not just to like celebrate the friends that you've surrounded yourself with, because those are the people that make you comfortable, make you feel most free, make you feel just like surrounded and supported in love. I also feel like it's the month to always educate yourself deeper in like the reasoning of how Pride happened, and also just to like respect those that came before you that were able to make, like your life be how it is, especially with you were saying Long Beach, or your life wasn't always like that. Like just finding those people in your area that have like made the queer events. Like I'm sure you'll go down in history one day for like Cheers to the Queers, because you're making these events that are going to make people, oh.
It is true. Yeah, you're the only one out there doing it, brother.
Making people feel more comfortable, and like I'm sure that'll just be bigger in the future. And just like finding those people in your area, and also just finding inspirations to do little things that you can help your area feel like more expressive and comfortable. Other than that, I feel like it's just a month to also relax, because it gets sometimes really like
it's a lot
intense. Yeah. So just making sure that you're like taking self-care and being prideful to yourself in ways that you like. I think that's really what Pride Month is about.
I feel that's so hard. Like, I really feel like Pride Month is like the expressed struggle. And I know that sounds kind of weird, but I think it's so important, like, that we as queer people and gay people, we know our history, because we don't get taught our history in schools. And a lot of times straight people or people who are just not around our culture don't even know that Pride was a riot, don't even know that, like, the reason why we're celebrating is because there's so much hard work that has gone into it, and so much hard work by trans people of color, trans women of color specifically, by just all of these people that have fought so hard to get it, just so we can live our life, so that I can have the handle Queer Girl Straight Skates and not be getting death threats every day, you know, or not be getting taken down off of the internet. And so I take it as a time really not only to thank, like, the Pride ancestors, but also, like, to remember my struggle and, like, to know that, like, I fought really freaking hard to get to the spot where I'm at right now. You know, like, my experience has not been the greatest when it comes to, like, being who I am and identifying as queer and, like, all of that stuff. And so for me, it's like really about remembering and being proud of myself that I've pushed through all of that. And then remembering, like, as I said earlier, the only queer any sort of representation I ever had was when I was getting my master's degree, and it was a professor that let it slip halfway through the semester that she had a wife. And, like, the fact that I just didn't have that, like, that makes me refreshed to be like, no, I'm gonna be that. Not only am I gonna be that for other people, I'm gonna create a community. So it's not just like, oh, we see Rebel, she's Queer Girl Straight Skates, but rather, like, there's a bunch of people who also are in this Queer Girl Straight Skates or Queerdos community or whatever, that, like, they can reach out to each other, because realistically, I'm only one person and I can't like facilitate the discussions with every single person that I'd like to, but I can empower other people to facilitate those discussions with each other and, like, create bonds and really create, like, a community. I know I've said the word community like 8 times, but, like, I don't have another word for it. Like, that community that's supportive. And, you know, so many queer people don't get to have their family. Like, they don't get to keep their family. And so having that family outside of your, like, birth family is so important. Like, for me, like, y'all are my family, you know, like, you have had my back, and I know I can call you at any point and I can be completely myself. And, like, that's real for me in a way that I want other people to also experience that. And, like, luckily I found that through roller skating, and that's what I hope that, like, this podcast even reminds everyone, is that, like, roller skating can create and help you make those connections. And, you know, roller skating culture and the family, like, can be your family, and you are accepted and you are loved and you are important. And I think that that's really important to remember during Pride Month, is that, again, I know I'm talking a lot, but it's not just about, like, oh yay, let's wear some rainbows and wave some flags. It's about, like, hey, there are a lot of people who are hurting really freaking bad right now. And let's find ways to support them. And let's find ways to not just think about ourselves, but to think about others during this time.
Absolutely. All the people that I surround myself with are from roller skating, and it's my best friend Cam is actually the first person who introduced me to, like, they them pronouns and being non-binary, because that was not a term that I had known about until I had met them. And especially, I feel like meeting them really shaped my just, like, queer experience, because I finally had someone that I could be queer around. Like, in high school, you know, it's difficult for parents, especially when, like, they're hearing new terms and they want to be an ally and everything. But I was directly told, like you can't be pan or bi. Bi was the word that I heard back then, but you can't be bi because that's, like, an insult to gay people who are trying to be gay. So, like, even through high school, I wasn't really allowed to, like, be myself, because I felt like that wasn't an option, which, like to my parents, it makes sense what he's trying to do, but also at the same time, you're still hindering someone else from finding out like who they are. Because even then, if I wasn't bi, if I was gay, like that transition to finding that out could not have happened because I didn't have that support. So I feel like I was trying to go somewhere with that. Like in high school, I didn't really have that support, didn't really get to figure it out. And then literally until I met my friend Cam was when I was like, wow, there's new terms, there's like someone I can actually be myself around. And I met this person at the skate park. Like literally, I had gone through like a breakup with a cis man and met this person. They hung out with me throughout like the next couple of months because I was like healing from a breakup. And through those 2 months was where I really like became who I was because of this wonderful and like amazing person. So,
that's so cool.
I think that like I wouldn't be who I am without roller skating, because if I had not met that person, I'm sure I would have met someone else. But like, I feel like, you know, when was that? That was like, what is it? It's 2000 or 2021, 2016. Like, things were not the same that they were now. And I feel like if I hadn't met that person, I don't know where I would be. Or, you know, maybe me just wouldn't be like out until later down the line. So I thank roller skating for like everything. All my friends, both of you, the job that I have, like just everything. I'm so grateful.
I'm so grateful for your show, and you both do such a great job and do such great work.
Thanks.
Well, that was a really good podcast.
Yeah.
I really loved listening to both of you.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you.
I really
Thanks
love
for
those
inviting
answers. That was a really
us.
great question.
Yeah.
I'm really grateful to be here. I
Me
appreciate
too.
you.
I love you all so much.
Oh, I love
And I
you
love
too.
the roller skating community.
What a love fest. I love the roller skating community too.
Tell us in the comments, what's it feel like for you to be a part of this community? We would love to read your stories and listen to shared experiences like the ones that you heard today. And we know that people reading those comments are also going to read through those and feel inspired to share their stories. And yes, let's commune in the comments now. Happy Pride, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. It was so lovely to get to listen to Kiana and Rebel. And I hope you check out their businesses because both of them are entrepreneurial artists. Not only do they have their day jobs, but they also create art in their free time. They're free and for fun, meaningful work time. They have Patreons. Mm-hmm. Do you have a Patreon?
We'll get
there. They've got YouTube channel.
I was gonna say I can tell you all my stuff.
We'll put all that information in the description down below of this video. Does anyone have any words to sign off?
My words to sign off are: don't let anyone tell you how you need to celebrate Pride or what you need to do or who you need to be, because it is all an individual experience. And what Pride Month is about is coming together and reminding each other of that we are all individuals within this. We all have our own identities. Everyone's experience is unique. And so remember to practice perspective taking. Remember to think about what Pride is about and where it came from, and remember to support your fellow queers, gays, and all everyone that is in this community, because that's the most important thing, I think.
Dang, you really blew it out. That nice job.
Thanks.
What Rebel said, and I think that like also I feel like Pride Month is also another month to just like reevaluate like who you're surrounding yourself with. If you are hurting, if you're going through a tough time right now, like we're here for you, roller skating's here for you, like this community. I hope that you maybe venture out this month and go to some events that maybe you can find people you can surround yourselves with, because I know I'll be at some, I know Rebel will be at some, Estro will be at some, and like these are the type of people that you'll meet at those events. And I just hope that if you don't have that right now, that you can find that sometime soon, because these two people right next to me are two people that make me feel damn, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something
validate
good.
that you are.
Feel validated, like the best I can be. Like I was gonna like say it on a scale of like, you know, like my battery level is 100% when I'm with them. Like that's how I feel. So I hope that you can just find that and you know, yeah.
You're like the Energizer Bunny.
Yeah. That's
on
literally
roller skates.
Have you our YouTube videos together? Like seriously, yeah. That's how my maximum 100% is. So if like you can find those people that can allow you to be like that, then you're gonna do great things in the world.
Yeah.
And if you haven't found them yet, just hold on for one more day.
Yeah.
Because eventually you will. In roller skating, we've got the entire spectrum of people, and they're just a very welcoming, loving group of people. And if you lean into the discomfort, if you don't know other roller skaters, go to the skate park, introduce yourself to someone, help someone out, share the tips that people have passed on to you. Eventually you're going to meet a friend and learn something about yourself and feel more comfortable being a part of this community, because it is a very loving and embracing one.
Yeah.
So we'll see you out there. Again, happy Pride!
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because we want to keep making cool content like this for you. And in the comments, say that you want to bring Rebel back.
We'll see you in the next podcast. Thanks, everyone.
I love you.
Bye.
Oh, queer hugs.